Hello everyone, I'm Man of Interest and it's time for another episode of the Cool Board. For those of you who may not be familiar with the Cool Board, this is the board where together myself and chat, for those of you who are watching live, are going to be ranking what's cool and what's wow all the way down to the yikes of the community. And this is key sets, keyboards, switches, and much, much more. Anything that I can fit on a 3-inch by 3-inch card that we can give our judgment to, we eventually will. So, we've already done quite a bit these last few episodes, with our current coolest thing on the board being the TGR 910RE, and the most yikes being tied GMK Rainbow and DSA Combat, with an overall spread of things mostly being pretty meh in this community. We'll see if the tables will turn today with some of the goodies that I have picked out. Let's get started, shall we? Up first is the Real Force 87U from Topra. Just the board itself, not talking about the domes, I'm talking about the board, the Real Force. The classic, available in a beige or available in a black with black on black keycaps, or a classic beige kind of set. In my opinion, this is one of the best OEM keyboards money can buy. For $200 plus shipping retail, or between $180 and $200 on the aftermarket, this is a board that holds its value really, really well, and it's an absolute treat, especially if you get that 55-gram version. Stainless steel plates, plastic construction, very notable forehead, nice rounded corners on the side. It is a non-detached cable with 3 routing options: left, top, and right, or right, top, and left, I mean. So that's probably one of the definitely downsides. What do you guys think about this? A few mehs, some cools. What do you guys think? I think this is at least cool, okay? The Real Force 87U is a testament to this community and taste in terms of typing feel. So I think it matters a lot. Like, it's the RF87U, okay? Almost no board, OEM board, holds its value like this one. And no board like this one can come in a flavor so beloved, like 55-gram, and so despised, like the mixed variable weight one. So, downside, plastic case. Another which not the biggest downside, to be honest, but some people can mark it there. For sure, downside is the attached cable that you have to get a mod to detach for, which is an option for people. I like this board so much. I have 2 of them. I've modded them heavily. I like 2 of them. I'm gonna put this. This is cool. This is a cool board. Okay, let's be real, everyone. This is cool. But how cool is it? I'm gonna say here. I think it's like in line with the Mech 27 and Duck Octagon. I actually think it's a bit cooler. Or do you guys think it should be lower? Lower in the same column, or do you think it should be shifted not as highly on the cool? Or even on the right of the Mech 27, making it definitively much cooler. About the same, lower. Once again, Nebulant disbelieves the board. Same as Duck Octagon, so it should be in the same column of cool, but maybe a little lower within that column, lower within that bucket. Oh, but it's cooler than the Nova Touch, cooler than the HP85, cooler than the Tofu. It's obviously cooler than all of those. That's the easy part, okay? That's the easy part. I'm gonna put my own bias in here and say it is slightly cooler than the Duck Octagon V2. I'll put it right here. Here's a Real Force 87U. It is definitively, almost undeniably, a cool board. okay? Whether it's the beige or the black version, okay? Our next one is a GMK set. It's a very beloved GMK set, I think. And I think a lot of people will recognize it very quickly. GMK Muted. Where does GMK Muted fall on the cool board? This is a very well-liked set, and for a while, prices went like up to $260 for the set for some ridiculous reason. What do you guys think? Got a little mez in chat, a few cools. Another instant wow from Top Clock. Some cools. I think this is a cool set. I think this is a cool set. Because it did something, it took something that was, because in my opinion, when I think of Muted, I think of like, it took a classic beige and literally made it cool. In terms of like, you know, the theme and the colors. It made that cool. You know what I'm talking about, like the bluish, like cool. So I think it's cool. It is easily a cool, okay? Easily a cool. I had to explain that way too much. But it's cool. It's cool. So what do you guys think of the set? Who owns this set? And how often do you use it if you own this set? Do you lust for the set if you don't have it? Are you okay with the fact that you don't have the set if you don't? Are you trying to get one? Are you trying to get rid of one? You know, I want to know what you guys think about Muted, whether it's in or not in your inventory of keycap stuff and keyboard stuff. That's what I'm curious about as well. So let me know, what do you guys, how is GMK Muted affecting your keyboard life? You're fine with not having it, says Star. What do you guys think? Brooke forgot it existed. Nebulant got the ePBT version. So you gotta only remembered it just now. Ray thinks it's very overrated. No desires to own. Interesting. Yeah, just throw it in the trash. Not very, just overrated. Okay. I think it is definitely, I think it was really highly overrated for quite a while. Like, I don't think when it rose to like that $260 mech market price tag, it deserved that. Like, I think it should hold its value at most. And that still is pretty cool. So, I'm going to say it's on the middle-ish cool, like right here, okay? Right there is where I'm putting GMK Muted. So, our next board is a board that for a lot of people opened themselves up to 96 keys for the first time. It's kind of an old one in terms of modern RMK almost. This was ran quite a bit ago from, I believe, Lunar Stream. It is the ZZ96, a name you probably haven't heard of in quite a while. What do you guys think of the ZZ96? I used to own one, a pink one from round 1, and I sold it like 2 months after, or a month after. How cool is the ZZ96? It has 3 R's, G's, and B's on the side glow all the way around. 96 key layouts. I think this keyboard did not age well. I think most can agree that if you hadn't heard of this board when it came out, and you're newer to the hobby, you probably never heard of this board. I think it aged poorly. What do you guys think? A lot of mez. A huge throwback. Yeah, it is a huge throwback. When I was doing my weekly research of what should I put on the cool board, I was like, this existed. Oh my god, I forgot about this. So I had to bring it up. Back when it ran, it was like $260-ish if I remember correctly, maybe a little more than that. That was before shipping and PayPal fee and tax and everything. So there's not these days, there's so many other 96 keys that exist that I think are just as good, if not better. I think this is aged poorly. I think to reflect that, it's going to be a meh, okay? It's going to be a meh. But where in the meh are we throwing this? That's the real question. Okay, is it cooler than the Katana 60? Or is it cooler than the LZ is less cool? Is it around the Ergodox Easy level? Or are we going down to like the border where it's going to be with JTK Purple and White and DSA Wolfmark? Or is it going to be around Alias switches and GMK RA? Cooler than LZ? You'd say around Ergodox level, lower than LZ, way down. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Around Let's Split. I think around Let's Split is pretty accurate, actually. I think it's... No, I don't. I think it's solidly in the middle. Somewhere in the middle of meh. So I'm just going to put it right here. That's the most middle of meh I can see at my angle. It did not age well. It did not age well, unfortunately. Okay, this next one I think is for a very niche kind of audience. It's one of those things where like you understand why it's cool or you think it's just a weird wasteful novelty kind of thing. And this next board is the Tex Yoda, a 60% with a track point in the middle and mouse buttons. For those of you who may have grown up or use ThinkPads quite often, you might like this kind of thing. It's all aluminum case. Yeah, what do you guys think of the Tex Yoda? See, it's very, I think it's a very polarizing kind of board. They're kind of pricey. They're like $260 to $280. If you build it yourself, you can use a win keyless bottom row. Unless you're willing to drill your keycaps to make space for the track point, you have to use their keycaps, which are cheapy ABS laser infill or shine through palm. Another downside. So, I mean, it has the track point. Okay, like a lot of people grew up with that track with ThinkPads. Okay, remember your ThinkPad? What do you guys think about this? Meh. A lot of mehs in chat. A few yikes in chat. A few cools. What do you guys think? Tex Yoda, I think is pretty divisive for the whole audience. Is it like just the most middle of the road? Or is it sadly in the meh? Never touched the track point. Is it executive Huey decision time? You think it's GMK Muted? I'm gonna have to disagree. It's not GMK Muted cool. I would easily have. I'd rather have 2 GMK Muted sets of like that I own personally than a Tex Yoda. I don't only have one though, so I have neither of those things. I'm gonna go with so just gonna it looks like this is gonna be the Huey choice here, huh? This is you guys haven't been split like this in a while, so I'm gonna put it. Oh, that's an issue. Below the Z, Ergodox Easy level, because it's its own niche of a kind of thing, and there's so many restrictions because of the keycaps. There we go. Low meh, okay, low meh. Oh, okay. This next one's gonna be an interesting one. This next one, many would say, is the creme de la creme of 40% keyboards. For a lot of people, this was their 40% keyboard that they lived and died by. This is a very, very beloved 40% keyboards, but in my opinion, has some glaring missteps that really put it back. But a lot of people already love it. This next board is the Pearl 40%. the Pearl 40%, is a beauty. It has a brass weight. You could have a freaking thing where it glows, but that top row has an irregular stagger, okay? The Q, A, and Z, they're not supposed to stagger like that as it does on the Pearl. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like how it is on a normal board. But regardless of that, a lot of people who use 40% say, hey, if you're using a 40%, you're already adjusting how you use the board. What's a little change in the zigzaggy, right? So maybe if you're already using a 40%, that's an overlooked kind of thing. But maybe if you're not and you're trying to adjust, that could really bring you out of the attempt to try to learn it, to try to understand it. So what do you guys think of the Pearl 40%? What do we got? We got some cools, got some mez. Price is outrageous. Barely leaning cool. It's too expensive. Blockers on a 40 is a massive yikes. It's the ZXC. Oh, sorry, yeah, the ZX0 with the wrong stagger. Thank you, Wix, for the correction. So yeah, where does the Pearl 40% really fall on this cool board? I'm not gonna lie, I like how it looks. I think even if you don't like 40%, I don't think you can really deny that the Pearl does have like a real like sexiness to it. Like, ooh, it's a Pearl, yeah. You flip it over, you see that giant weight coup design. You're like, ooh, got the weight on that Pearl. You know what I'm saying? And then like when you try it like at a meetup, you're like, maybe just a look, don't touch kind of thing, you know, like a strip club or, you know, similar kinds of establishments. So that's the issue with this board. And it's cool to look at. It's not cool to use. This is definitely a toss-up for a lot of people. Does that make it cool? Remember, this is the cool board. It's a cool. There's two major glaring things. I mean, it looks cool, but that wrong stagger is not cool. So I'm gonna say low cool, like GMK Led Zepp level of. I'm like running out of space. Why do I use like big thumbtacks? Because they're metal. Yeah. Why am I doing this to myself? There we go. Pearl 40%. Can we get a proper cool definition? It's a fluid. It's a fluid thing. That's why I don't have like concrete lines between the buckets. You know, that's why things can be in the middle-ish or wavy or this and that. And this is because it's hard to define what's just cool. Cool isn't a science necessarily. It is partly a science. Don't get me wrong. But what's cool is very, very person to person, thing to thing, you know? So it can depend. Especially considering our next board is one that was one of the biggest things in RMK 2 years ago. Like, 2 years ago on RMK, you couldn't get away from a front page without seeing at least 4 posts, including this keyboard. Because when it launched, it was the first keyboard to launch with an aluminum case, PBT keycaps, 60%, programmable, support the Vorak, support Colmac natively with dip switches. For those of you who've been in the community for 2 years, know what keyboard this is. You might have owned one yourself, or maybe even owned several of them. It's the Poker 3 60% board. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing or hearing about this board, without people getting different kind of text cases to put on this board, or different high-profile cases, changing their keycaps. This was the board that gave birth to a generation within our community, which is crazy. Which is crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. But it has not aged well in a community that has KBD fans. But it's still $100 for a full board. It's not bad. Stabilizers are orange. whatever. Well, how cool is this board? Has it aged well? Is it still kind of... Back then, if you asked anyone 2 years ago, everyone would say like, wow, right? Right? That was 2 years ago. We're in current date. Is it cool in 2019? Next to the Model M leaning cool, foundation of all 60% layouts, whether the poker would not be the standard. What do you guys think? Solid, cool, low cool, influential, and a gateway. I think it's cool. Like, because of the influence, like I wasn't a part of that Model M generation, but I was a part of, I never actually owned one, but I was a part of the birth of the generation this really gave. Like, I started about a year and a half before the Poker 3 got really big, but I saw what that did to our community, and it was amazingly transformative. Like, more so than almost most things. Like, a lot of people who have been in the community can remember, like, everyone and their mother had a poker or was raving about the poker. So, it's cool. Hasn't aged well. Hasn't aged well. Especially since, so what I think, yeah, Wixblue just said, there's a Ducky 1 Mini and the An Pro. I don't think those are as, if I take the historical context in mind, which for example I did the Model M, those aren't as cool as this board. It's gonna be low cool. It's gonna be on the bottom with the Model M and the low cool, and I'm gonna put it on the bottom so you can always see it. You can always see the effect it's had on our community as everything gets covered up and filled, right? You're always going to see that Model M down there, and you're always going to see this poker. There we go. That's where the Poker 60%, Poker 3 60% is. This next one is a switch. And this next switch, for a lot of people, is something interesting. Some may call this the ultimate clicky switch in a usable form. Some people say it's a relic of the past, and it may have been good then, but has too many flaws, like dust, you know, the killer of all keyboards, given enough time and age and hatefulness and spite in the world. But regardless, this switch has still seen much love in the community today, and moving forward it will. This switch, of course, is SKCM Blue Alps. Many love it. Many think it's a white Alps. But what do you think of the SKCM Blue Alps as a switch? Where is this going? Got a little wows in chat. Got a meh in chat. So wow's easy meh. Wow cool to wow yikes meh. Like where's the SKCM Blues going? Of course, they have the downside of one being Alps, which I think is an inherent downside because they're no longer produced. They're very vulnerable to dust, so if you buy an old board, you may have to clean it unless it's like NIB quality. It only takes Alps keycaps, and that's like another hassle that you have to go through. But they are pretty nice clickies. But does that counteract all the difficulties, all the hoops you have to jump through to get to loving Blue Alps? Or is that a part of the journey, the adventure that builds up to this final thing that you typed on for all these things that you gotta piecemeal together, right? It's two ways of thinking about it. Are these all these annoying hoops that detract your want more and more? Or are all these just like small little challenges you gotta overcome to finally be able to wield the Blue Alps? I don't think they're wow. I've used them. I've never owned a board of Blue Alps, but if you guys know me, I've been to a few meetups in my day. And almost every meetup I've gone to has had at least one board with Blue Alps. That's a given, right? You can't go to a meet. If a meetup has over 100 people, statistically there's going to be a Blue Alps board there. I don't make the rules. That's just one of them. And if you pass 150 people, there's bound to be one brown Alps board there. That's just how life works. So let's see. Clicky switches by definition cannot exceed meh. Top clack, one of the most overrated switches in existence. A lot of people have said these are overrated. Meh. Alps is meh, 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 meh. Yeah, now we're getting a lot of mehs instead of the wows from earlier. So what do you guys think? Blue Alps. I don't think they've aged well, to be honest, because now that okay, so here's I'm gonna put this in probably a controversial place, but here's my reasoning. Okay, first I'm gonna put these pretty far in the meh, not cool, pretty far in the meh. Okay, like it's cooler than LZ Iron. It's the coolest meh thing we've had. Okay, the coolest meh thing we had. Here's why it's not cooler. Okay, it has all the history, has the greatness behind it, right? That it is Blue Alps. But today, with fixed box switches, I would rather type on Jades or Navies than Blue Alps if I want a satisfying clicky switch. That's how I feel. That, or if I want like an old school good clicky switch, I would get a Model F XT and use some nice capacitive buckling springs. There's no room, I see no room to have clicky Alps in this day and age with box thick clicks, just thick click switches in general, and restoring a Model F if you want to go old school. So that's how I feel. That's why I think it's going to be the farthest so far of anything in the meh category, but still it's not cool because of that. Because it's gotten outpaced and outclassed so far by things that are newer than it and things that are older than it. So that's where it's lying for me. Next up is a set that, if you're also around in the poker days, no, you couldn't get away from either. This is a DSA set that made waves. How many waves? At least 8 rounds worth of waves. And like, you don't even like, what set had 8 rounds? Just trying to think, right? What set had 8 rounds? Well, DSA Granite did. And now it's just on continuous order from PMK because it was so popular in our community. This was like the cool kids DSA beige, and you got like those RGB modifier keys for DSA Granite, and you're the coolest kid in the club with your poker. Those who came from that poker, who knew all those pokers, knew someone had a DSA Granite for all those, right? Like that used to be the thing. But of course, nowadays, with the proliferation of GMK everywhere, DSA has definitely fallen by the wayside. Not many people are as interested in DSA anymore. That's one of the things. But man, this has sold a lot of units. What do you guys think? A lot of mez is so simple, can't be higher than meh. Evidence is cool. So I don't know, what do you guys think? DSA Granite. Very cool on a split ergo board. Yikes on a 60. Muted. Did it better. Choices, 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 choices. DSA Granite. Granite is just, it's iconic. Like, maybe just because I've been in the community for some time, I think it's iconic. I know for a lot of people who've joined the last year, year and a half, even 2 years, DSA Granite probably isn't a big deal. It's not a big deal anymore, right? There's no big runs of it anymore. It's just on constant order when it's in stock for PMK. This is because Mateo wanted to move on to work on other things than a new DSA Granite run. But has a lot of history behind it, a lot of love behind it. You know, I used to own like a DSA Granite with almost every single like sub kit, so I could fill anything. I don't have any Granite anymore. I sold it actually at a profit because I sold it when it was so super popular. Because then I was getting into GMK when GMK was rare. It's exactly cool as the poker. You know what? I agree with that statement. It was in that same kind of bubble of like trend, of style, of gravitas. So I'm going to put it around there. But I'm not going to care. It's going to be... I'm running out of space. Might have history. Very uncool today. That's a good point too. I'm going to put it on the mess side. It'll be here. Like around here. I can't... like I'm running out of space for for all this. Okay, actually, okay, one last clarifier, okay? You guys will help me decide. Is it cooler than GMK LED Zep, which is hiding behind here? That's the last question for where I'll place it. Is it cooler than GMK LED Zep or not cooler than GMK LED Zep? Yes. Not cooler, no. A lot of no's. Some coolers, yes. Is DSA Granite cooler than GMK LED Zep? Roughly as cool. Okay. See, like, you guys are actually really balanced on this. This is getting a good like semi-formal metric. Now everyone can know GMK LED Zep is as cool as DSA Granite. Looks roughly like some nose coming in. I'm gonna put it like, do it this way. There we go. Can't see GMK LED Zep, but you know it's there. You know it's there. Yeah, I do need to get a bigger board in the future, or I think these are fine sizes, because if these are smaller, it'd be harder for you guys to read. To be honest, I'm pretty sure they're already hard enough for you guys to read. So maybe in the future I can get an even bigger, but is light die already? Yes, it did. Even bigger board, so that'll be, yep, that'll be one of the plans moving forward. Can't read them anyways if they're covered. Oh, it's so true. Okay, oh, this next one. Something I love. Something that I'm probably going to put like higher up just because of how much I love this. I think a lot of you guys will love it as well. This has shipped in, I think, over 5 rounds of different variants in all brass and aluminum variants, as well as some seasonal holiday variants in a variety of colors. This is a 6-key macro pad from one of the most prolific designers, or not prolific, one of the greatest designers in our community. It's a hot trend designer putting hot trend keyboards out, and this is the macro pad, the Ramaworks M6A. How cool is the Ramaworks M6A? You can get an all brass one, you can get an aluminum one, you can program it with via configurator. Got 6 keys on it. Wow! How cool is this, guys? Got some. You guys who are saying yikes are absolutely wrong. Between cool and wow, some mez. Come on, guys. It's the M6A. It's like, okay, come on. Like, let me. Okay, hold on. I need to grab my macro pad. I have the all brass, the nice silver one. Okay, it came with these beautiful Rama keycaps. Okay. I got holy pandas in mind because I'm a baller. So yeah, it came with a cable. M6 is at least cool as the TGR 910. I think I will mostly agree with you guys. Low wow or high, so the coolest thing we have on the board is the TGR 910RE. Is the Ramaworks M6A cooler than the 910RE? Does it actually, like, is it semantically going to be somewhere almost like in the imaginary line that is wow? Or is it going to be like the TGR 910 where we said this is definitely in the middle of wow and cool? It's like a low wow, but still a wow? Or like with the 910, where it's within it, within both. I'm going to put it slightly to the right of the 910, but low. This is, everyone, the coolest thing on the cool board today. Hold on, let me stand on the other side so I can actually see what I'm looking at. It is the coolest thing. It's practically in wow. It's not solidly wow, but it's the closest thing we have to a wow so far yet. How exciting. How exciting. It is past the 910. But it's a low WoW, so if other semi-cool things come around that are maybe in the same tier but a little bit cooler, we can put it up without putting it more rights. We have things, it has things to work with, has space to grow. Okay. We've got 3 last cards for this episode today. 3 last cards, okay? How are we going to handle these cards? Okay. This one is a GMK set. That is liked by many. The first round had bad compatibility, but this is before designers knew how to make compatibility. But it was very striking. It took something very classic and beloved and added a flavor to it. And the flavor it added was blue. What set am I talking about? Of course I'm talking about GMK Sky Dolls. You take Dolls, you add some blue, and you got GMK Sky Dolls. How cool is GMK Sky Dolls? Got some cools, we got some meh AF. Some mez. Maybe this hasn't aged well. I have this. I actually like this. I like how it looks, but I'm not sure how it's aged and how the community perceives it really these days. High mez, between meh and cool. High meh. Oh, I guess it hasn't aged well as I thought it had. You know, at least I've got a lot of mez in chat. Heading toward that meh direction. Is it cooler than Blue Alps? Is it cooler than Blue Alps? Meh, no. No. Is it cooler than the LZ Iron? Low, meh. Is it cooler than the ZZ96? It's like near the same era as the ZZ96 when the first run came out. Cooler than LZ Iron, but that board should have been yikes. Okay, I'll put it cooler than the LZ Iron. There we go. There we go. I think it's a pretty good place for it, actually. Okay. This next one was one of those sets. It ran a while ago, too, the first round. So popular, I ran for a second round. I never understood why this set in this profile became so popular. It ran recently in GMK to a mess of a double set kind of run. But it was, a lot of people really enjoyed the inspiration and the set design overall. And it kind of all trickled back to this SA set from so long ago. Featuring orange, featuring gray, featuring a whitish beige. Of course, I am talking about SA Carbon. SA Carbon. Where does SA Carbon fall on the cool board? I used to have this set too. I kind of like this. I think the set looks really classy on a black board. I had it on a black 60%, of course, because that was the thing back then. But where does it fall? It looks cool. It's not really fun to type on SA, but they look nice. They look cool. I always think SA has a pretty nice look to it, right? When the colors are good with SA, it has a nice look. It's like complete shit to type on, but they look nice. So that's one of the things. Talking about this point, until Laser, it was the most popular set based on units sold. That was GMK Carbon though, right? I think it was GMK Carbon. This is SA Carbon, but it still has that carbon legacy behind it. to a degree. Yeah, it was hot. It was pretty hot this day. Like hot as this room with all these lights, which is pretty hot. Now I'll leave that one on. Da, 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 da. I think maybe let's put it between, so when we someday get GMK Carbon, we can put GMK Carbon appropriately. Because I think we can all say when I get to GMK Carbon on these cards, we're all going to say it's going to be cooler than SA Carbon. Fact? Yes. Not an opinion, a fact. It is a fact. So, let's put it here. Just less cool than the Fiel, I think. Maybe actually, no, I think that's fine. I think that's fine for it. I think that's fine for it. Got one last thing for tonight. Okay. One last keyboard. This keyboard was marred in a lot of drama, a lot of production issues, the original runner leaving, someone else taking over. But after like not 2 years, like a year and a half, this TKL finally happened. This TKL took so long, a Chinese clone came out before the original group buy finished. That's how much of a mess it was. But it did. Manufactured by Alps and originally designed by NinjaDoc. The last item we have for tonight is the Mira SE TKL, which I do own one. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's quite the board. Quite the board. So what do you guys think? Mira TKL. It's at least a cool, because I own it. Like, come on, right? No, but it's a nice board. It is a nice board. I have the Win keyless version, and I enjoy it quite a bit. We got here some cool, some wows, oof backstory, wow design, right to the wow side of the E6 V2. High cool. It's pretty high cool, for me at least. Has to be some sort of cool. I own one. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a wow, but I think it's cool. Very, very cool. I've built mine with, mine is also one of my nicest boards I have. I'm going to put it around in the same tier as the 910, but I'm ranking it higher than the 910. That's how I feel. So it's now it's the second coolest thing on the board. The second coolest thing on the board. This is the cool board for tonight. So we did quite a few for a nice recap. Ramaworks M6A takes the coolest thing on our board, followed by the Mira SE TKL. Okay, we got the Poker holding a nice pole position with the IBL Model M. DSA Granite hasn't aged that well as we hoped. Real Force 87U, it's cool. You can't get away from the classiness that is that board. GMK Muted still holds up pretty well. A lot of people probably don't really care about it as much, but they recognize that it's cool, and whether or not they have it or not doesn't matter. Doesn't affect that part. GMK Sky Dolls, on the other hand, has not aged very well at all. Yikes. The Pearl, a low cool board. 40% is a plus or minus for many. That stagger being messed up is also a plus or minus for many as well. Kind of tugging it between cool and meh because it has that cool weight, has a cool look to it until you type on it, okay? Tex Yoda, that track point isn't for a lot of people. and you guys have definitely made that opinion very, very clear. And the ZZ96 is a product of another time. Not too cool in today's world when we can get other 96 keyboards for way cheaper and better. Well, that's the cool board for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed this segment. This is fun. This is always fun to do it every week. Every Wednesday is the cool board, everyone. So I hope you guys tune in for every Wednesday this cool board, because a lot of things happen. I'm gonna take some pictures. I'll upload it to my Discord. So join the Discord if you'd like to see the pictures of these. Take a wide shots, and I'll get in there with some of the closer ones. You know what I'm saying? Just don't mind me. Just gotta do my Asian dad squat and take some pictures. Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. No yikes today. Feels Pepe. Okay, so what do you guys, let me know, what do you guys agree most on? What do you agree? Actually, wait, I need to do an actual YouTube ending because this goes on YouTube too. Hold on, and then we'll talk. Hi again. For everyone on YouTube who just saw that, don't worry. For everyone on YouTube, thanks for watching this segment. If you're able to join live, I highly recommend. It's really fun, as you guys have, sure, if you guys been reading chat along, because they've been having a hoot and a holler of agreeing and disagreeing with me and each other of where things fall in the group on the cool board. So thank you everyone so much for watching on YouTube. Hope to see you guys in the next video. And for everyone else that's live, let's talk about what we agree and disagree with.